Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Grown Ups, the podcast. Hi, Ellie. How are you?
Hey girl, I'm okay. I'm tired. I feel like this week is going to be one of them weeks where I give myself a little bit of, is it leniency?
Potentially.
And I just take it nice and easy because I'm quite tired and a lot of revision. It's been a hard life, you know. How about you?
Yeah, I feel you. I really feel you. Do you know what I think it is as well? I mean, you have like revision, and I'm
Mm.
meant to also have revision right now that I've applied onto this course. But it's also like everyone's coming back from summer. So everyone's like starting to reply to emails that they weren't replying to before. So things are just moving like a little bit faster. Like you can't, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, September. Oh, guys, I know we're like well into September, if not like ready to go into October now. But September is actually the dustiest month of the year. September, oh no, January is, but September's up there. Like it's really up there. Everyone's coming back from holidays. People are less like chilled and excited. Like people are just a bit, I don't know, I don't like it. And like kids go back to school, the roads get busier. Oh no.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
no, honestly, I was actually talking to a friend about this the other day. You will not catch me on a bus between the hours of 3:30 and 5 because that
Oh.
is peak school hours. You've got all those ratty school kids on the bus making noise. Oh,
Yeah, it baffles me that I used to be one of them. They literally make me itch. Um,
yeah, exactly. Do you know, in school, yeah, obviously I went to a school in Croydon.
mm.
That says everything that you need to know. But we were on the bus, and you know how there's those CCTV cameras on the bus to
Oh
like
yeah.
show like people on the top deck and at the back, whatever. Not me dancing. Anyways, um, this guy in my year, he got pornography up on his phone and put it up to the camera, so everyone saw it. I was like, what is going on? Like, yeah.
I'm actually dying.
So imagine now you're an adult and you're just coming back from a doctor's appointment or a shift or whatever, and you see that on the screen. Like, I'd actually be fuming.
That is wrong. We had a school bus, like a designated bus that was, I don't know if it was like, I don't know if it was actually meant to be a school bus, but I think it is. Whatever, irrelevant. So when adults got on it, I was kind of like, that's your own. Who told you to take the school bus? Like, get a different one. Any other
Yeah.
bus, cool. But you're actually jumping on the school bus, like,
Yeah, honestly. Speaking about school, yeah, I was sorry, this is like such a random thought, but the other day I was writing notes and I was like, my black pen ran out. And so I had to get a blue pen. And I was like, oh, I hate writing these notes now because it's in blue pen. Are you a blue pen or a black pen girl?
obviously like day-to-day black pen, but I'm not gonna lie, I like a cheeky blue pen because it's like, oh, something new.
I hate blue pens. Ugh.
I like it. I like it. Do you know what I love? I love using different colored pens. Like, so I'll use black and then I'll spice it up with a bit of red if I've got a really important note. And then, oh, maybe a bit of green, maybe a highlighter, especially during my revision. Like, it's time to be
Yeah.
fun, in it?
You need those that one pen with like the seven different colors on it.
Oh, yeah, I haven't had one of those in ages. They were actually the ones. I love, oh my God, sorry. Side note, absolute hobby of mine is going to like the post room at work and like just taking loads of pens and loads of highlighters and post-it notes. It gets me so excited and it's all free.
Oh my God, I don't have a post room. That's
Yeah,
so
you
sad.
need one. It's lit.
No,
Like plastic wallets, notebooks, everything. It's
I
brilliant.
d listen, I do love me some cheeky stationery, so I can imagine how that is late. Lit. Lit.
Highlight of my week. But anyway, should we get into this week's episode?
Yes. So, as you guys know, we do this in this week's episode of Being a Dumb Bitch. Because there's a lot of dumb bitcheries that happens in the day-to-day of our lives.
It
But
just makes everyone feel a bit better about themselves, doesn't it?
it absolutely does. And this week we got sent one in. So it says, this isn't a recent dumb bitch example, thank goodness, but it is a very, very bad one that I was reminded of following Maggie's mistake last week. So mine was the time zone mistake, innit?
Not calling you out, by the way.
Yeah, innit?
Yes, it was indeed.
Okay. And if you don't know about that, then maybe you should be listening to every single episode of the podcast. Anyways, someone said, when I started at my first job 3 to 4 years ago, I was in charge of scheduling my manager's meetings. organising car hire, and booking hotels for him across the country. Long story short, but one day my manager was off on a pretty important business trip up north. Having arrived at the location to pick up his hire car, he was surprised to find the car wasn't ready. This is
Mm.
because I, oh,
It's bad.
this is because I had booked it for the wrong damn month.
I knew it was gonna be something like that.
This happened with the hotel he was due to stay at and restaurants I had booked for all of his meetings. Luckily, he managed to book a new car and I sorted out the hotel and restaurants as he drove up. Super embarrassing, and I triple check everything from that day on.
That's peak. That's so bad. They saved themselves though. Like the fact that they had time to change stuff and the fact that they booked it for like a month later. So like I'm sure you'd get all the money back because it's a
Yeah,
month notice.
yeah.
If it was like the day after and you lost all that money, screwed.
Do you know what? This actually happened to my dad. So
No.
yeah, we were going to, this was before they were moving to Devon, so we were going to the area to get to know the area and stuff.
Cute.
And he booked a hotel, and at this point we'd literally driven, it's like a 6 hour journey, 5, 6 hours. And I think there was traffic that day because it was nighttime at this point. And we'd driven to the hotel and we go to check in, everyone's tired, hungry, just done with it, done with the day.
Yeah.
And the woman's like, you're not here, like you're not on the booking. He's like, maybe try this name, whatever, whatever. No, you're not here. He'd booked it for a whole, like, I think it was either like next year or like 6 months later or something like that. And then
Oh
that
my
night they were
days.
fully booked. So we had to drive around for like, honestly, it was like 30 minutes, 45 minutes trying to find a new place to stay. It was a mare.
That is scary, especially with like not that your brother's a kid, but like a kid and like everyone's tired.
Yeah.
Boy,
You have to laugh about it at that point because if everyone's angry, it's just gonna get worse. So, but
at least you
yeah.
have a car, nap in the car, in it. Like,
But peak, no, so things like that can happen. For at work though, that's so embarrassing. Because wouldn't you be so pissed if someone like had booked your accommodation, they booked it wrong, and now you're standing there like a tomato doing nothing?
yeah, I'd be absolutely fuming. I'd be so annoyed. But
Sorry,
then
not
again,
to make this person feel bad.
yeah, sorry, I was gonna say, but then again, we all make mistakes, man. I've made embarrassing mistakes. It just happened. I actually feel like because I make a lot of mistakes, I'm fairly lenient. Like I try not to get annoyed because I'm like, oh, Ellie, you've been there, you've done that.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, I was
Um,
reading one of the grads works today and like just giving like, oh, you could do this, you could do this. And because we're like similar ages, I feel like we're on the same level. And then it was my first time reading this person's work. And when I read it, I was like, rah. It just reminds me of like where I was a year ago, like
right.
2 years ago. It's so weird. But I was like, let me
Yeah.
not be rude because me too, like I was the same. So, I mean,
Wanted to write idiot across the sheet.
no, do you know when it gets to the point where you're just like, oh my God, I want to rewrite this so bad. But that's a shit like leader. Like that is a crap leader.
No, exactly. Like sometimes if you are training someone to do something or whatever, you're like, "Oh, bruv, might as well just do it myself." Like by the time I finish explaining and answering your questions and then reviewing your work, should have just done it myself.
It's made me like just doing that because I don't typically manage people or help people. I'm the one asking for help. It made me deep like how ungrateful I am and how much I don't realize how much like time I take of people's when they're
Yeah,
explaining stuff to me.
so true.
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, let me not even get into it. But thank you to everyone who helped me along the way. On that note, let's jump into our dilemmas. We've got two this week because we were like, let's put two in, let's spice it up. We've got more the merrier.
Yes.
Um, so our first one says, hi Maggie and Ellie, love the podcast. Thank you. I'm currently going through a rough patch at work where nothing seems to be going my way. I'm making one mistake after the other, and the stress of it all is ruining my relationships outside of work. I find myself taking my frustration out on my boyfriend and family, or when I see friends, work is all I talk about, and they are pretty sick of hearing it. Help. How do I separate work and life? And do you have any tips on how to recover from a mistake, or in my case, multiple mistakes?
Yeah.
Guys, the energy is not here today. We're tired. We're actually tired.
the thing with mistakes is you just have to make them and learn from them and not do it again. Like, it's okay if you're making the same mistake several times, let's have a sit down and review what's going on here. But I think honestly, mistakes you just have to like sweat off a duck's back. Was it? Shoulder
Water off of
what?
not the sweat. um, water off a duck's back. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
water off a duck's back. Like something happens, and you know that feeling that you hold on to. It's like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. Like I hate it. Oh, like it's the worst feeling. But you just have to shake it off because what can you do? The mistake is done. Just let's try and fix the mistake, and let's try and not do that again. So I think on that front, drop it, drop it like it's
Yeah.
hot. But on the front of like complaining and stuff to your friends, I don't know. What do you think? Because that is annoying, though, isn't it?
Mm,
Uh,
um, yeah, the first situation, time heals all. Take your time, go slow. The second one, I feel like it's peak, man, because it's so easy for your job to become your personality. Like you're there 9 to 5, some people longer if you don't have work-life balance or if that's just what's expected of you. And it is very easy, but I think maybe like I don't know, I don't want you to overthink it, but just say to yourself when you see your friends, okay, no, I'm not going to talk about work. Let me like I don't know. How do you even not like on purpose talk about work? I
I
don't know.
think it is okay to talk about work. Like, I do actually want to, like, when I speak to my friends, like, yeah, let's have a rant. This is a safe space to have a rant about work. But it
Mm.
just depends, like, are we talking about the same thing over and over again? And is it the whole night we're talking about work? Like, let's split up. Okay, here is work. Now we're gonna talk about this. Now we're gonna talk about like, let's not drag it out. I think something that really irritates me is, people that just complain and complain and complain. And it's
Mhm.
like, there's this saying in Portuguese, it's not going to make sense in English, but it's like, you're not square, which means like, you're not a square, like, you can move. Like,
Oh yeah, I hear you. Don't stay in one place.
yeah, like, you can roll around and move on to the next thing. Like, if you're,
I love
obviously,
that.
that doesn't, it makes so much more sense in Portuguese. Like, it's so much easier to understand. But it's like, I'm not saying leave your job in it, but there usually is something you can do. Like, okay, you're complaining about this. Have you spoken to someone at work to try and mitigate this problem? So,
Mm.
because why are we talking about the same thing every day?
Yeah, I agree. It's fine to talk about your issues with your friends, and it should be a safe space. But if you feel like your job is becoming your personality, I think we mentioned this last week. Maybe try writing. Like maybe try write it down, write how you're feeling down, or talk to family or someone who doesn't mind if you moan that little bit extra. But when you're with your friends, just try and like have a good time and switch off. Because that's actually like more as is important as it is for your friends, it's really important for you as well. Like,
Yeah.
and do you know what, May? Work is a lot of your life, but it's really not the be all and end all. It's a means to an end. Like it's actually just it's a way to make money and to keep your brain active so you don't be getting dementia or whatever. Really, that's that's what that's here for. So don't worry.
Yeah. Just, try separate the things. When you're doing work, do work. When you're doing life, do life.
Yeah,
Personally.
I think you'll be okay, girl. Everyone makes mistakes, and you know what? This is just a rough patch, like you say. It's not a bad life, it's a bad day.
Yeah.
We hope
Exactly.
that helps. Shall we jump on to the next dilemma?
Yes. Someone said, "Hi, Maggie and Ellie. I found your podcast recently. Oh, yay!
New
Um,
listeners.
New listeners. I wonder if they're in India, as we found out last time that most of our listeners are in India, aside from the UK. Um, right. So I found your podcast recently, having just found a new graduate job. I'm 1 week in, and while I'm super excited, I'd be lying if I said I was not a little anxious about one, doing well slash impressing my team, and two, making friends in my graduate cohort. As corporate babes too, please could you share some tips?
Okay, what was it again? What was one and what was two? Two
So
was friends.
impressing my team and making friends at work.
Okay. One, I would say like don't put too much pressure on yourself. I think initially, especially on a grad scheme, please, like you're actually a baby. It's
Mm,
fine. Personally, hopefully your firm's as nice a man, but they really didn't expect anything. So don't worry too much about impressing. I think most places it's your personality that matters. If people are fucking with your personality, they'll actually accept a lot from you, like a lot of mistakes, a lot of stuff, and they'll want you to do well. So I wouldn't even stress about that. Just go in and be you. Ask questions where you want to ask questions. Go do some extra research if you feel like you want to do some extra research. Just yeah, be the best that you can be, but without overthinking it. Would you say anything else on that point? That number one?
I think as a new person, and I mean, obviously, I haven't been for a grad scheme, but I have been like the new person who's like substantially younger than everyone else. What I did is I asked for like quick coffee chats with
Mm.
senior people in my firm. So one, they know who I am. Two, you can get like a sense of what the firm looks like from the top down perspective, and just getting yourself out there so they know who you. No, I just said that.
No, but I hear what you're saying. That's actually such a good idea.
Yeah. So that's my advice. Full stop.
Yeah, being yourself and being proactive, you will go so far. That's all people want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And then number two, in terms of making friends, again, I feel like this is just something that comes naturally. Like you'll either gel with people or you won't, but somehow you will find your people. Like it just happens.
It's so true.
Um, yeah, it can't be forced. So just go to the events. If there's an event on, tag along, like don't decline everything. Um, have a chit chat, mingle, do some speed dating around, ask people for lunch. Um, yeah, take walks with people at lunch. That's my little thing. I like doing that. Or like even network with like older people in your team. It doesn't just have to be your grad cohort. It can be like going for lunch with your team and stuff like that. Just yeah, you'll find your people without a doubt. Just take it slow and don't rush and don't put pressure on yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
Fab. That's a nice dilemma to have. You're gonna have an amazing time. How exciting.
We hope. No, I'm joking. You will.
I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I said that, I was like, bitch, who am I kidding? You've got 60 more years of work ahead of you. Good luck, babes.
On the note of living this life, the news story this week, guys, is a bit dim. It's a bit dim still. So this is from The Guardian, and it says Earth is well outside the safe operating space for humanity, scientists find. What does that mean? Because that sounds really scary. Basically, for the first time ever in the history of us as humans, they've done an assessment on the planetary boundaries. So these are things like they look at the atmosphere, like marine health, and there's like 9 different planetary boundaries basically. And they had found that 6 out of 9 of the planetary boundaries have been broken because of human caused pollution and destruction of the natural world. It basically got me thinking, rah, the the world is ending. So really, this is the time to really think about what you want out of this life and what is important to you in this life, right?
Yeah, guys, if anything, this shows you that your job means nothing. Everyone's gonna die one day. These people won't remember you, man.
Exactly.
Ain't
Like
nobody gonna remember you unless you're more than Joe Blogs, which I am not. So
exactly. So I mean that's not to scare anyone, but it's to say like, guys, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. There's bigger fish to fry, and you don't have to fry
yeah.
it because it's already being fried. So just live. Just live your life on a day-to-day basis and hope for the best.
And on that note, we were thinking about the purpose of life. What's important to you whilst we're still here, whilst the world looks as it does. And we asked this week on Instagram, what are your 3 pillars of life? Slash, like, what are the most important things to you?
Yeah, so there was a study done by psychologists, and they basically found that there's 3 main pillars that, and so it will be interesting to see what people's responses are, but 3 main pillars that, sorry, 3 main categories that the 3 things fit into. So the first is health. So it might be someone might be really into fitness or
Mm,
like nutrition or mental well-being. So they might like practice a lot of mindfulness through like things like yoga, meditation, stuff like that. The second one is hope. So that's to do with your personal life goals, so your personal development, your economic circumstance, what material things you can buy. And then the third one is harmony, and that pertains to your social side of life, like family, culture, your spiritual side, your religion, and stuff like that. So it should fit into those three categories. So what are your three pillars of life?
I really should have thought about this. But I guess being on the spot is good and natural. Um, yeah, one of mine 110% will be health. Like just health, not fitness, not well-being, just like genuinely health. I don't think you can pick one over another. Like
Hmm.
everything matters. How you feel matters, how you feel physically matters, how you feel mentally matters. What you're
That's
putting in
true.
your body, like how you're working your body, how you're working your mind, like all of that. Takes me back to episode
All of
one.
that. Yeah, season one throwback.
Energy.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Um, yes, so all of that. And then no, sorry. That just reminded me. I'm not gonna go into it, guys, because I'm gonna make this episode too long. One of my colleagues, someone very senior, said that I reminded them of Cat Slater yesterday
From EastEnders. That's
because of my
disrespectful.
accent. I said, yo, okay.
Rude. Backhanded compliment.
Bruv, there's no compliment. There's no compliment there at all.
Yeah, there isn't. That's just my backhand.
There isn't. But anyway, so yes, health. Two would be, oh, this is so hard. I think like without a doubt, relationships are almost like impact. Like, what impact am I having on people? What impact people are having on me? Like, are the encounters, the things that I'm putting out into the world and the things that I'm receiving back positive? Does that make
Hmm.
sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be that maybe like positivity, if that's the thing, like positive relationships, positive effect. And then my last one might just be like, I'm trying to think what matters to me. I'm healthy, I'm positive, think it'll be like experience. Am I making the most of this life that I've been given? Am I experiencing the world?
I saw this I saw this TikTok, sorry. And it was this video of Eddie Murphy, and I don't know what he was doing it for. I don't know if it's part of a movie or if it was some motivational speech or whatever, but he was like, on average, we all get, if we're lucky, you get 75 summers. So most, like on average, people live till 75. Obviously, average, people die much younger and live much
Yeah.
longer. But if you're lucky, you get 75 summers. And he was like, that doesn't sound like a lot, does it? So what are you gonna do with your 75 summers? And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Like, I've already passed 24 summers.
It's
24
wild.
summers have gone.
And we didn't even have a summer this year. Like,
Exactly. Like life is short, so yes, experience is so important.
yeah, the world as we know it, guys, is changing. We may not have summers anymore. So sort yourself out, make them count. Um, what would yours be?
Um, First is definitely family.
Mhm.
Like that shapes a lot of what I do, and like it shapes my motivation, like how I think, what I spend my time into. So definitely family.
Love
Um,
that.
the second one would be um I think kind of similar to yours, but like adventure. Like
Mm.
I need this life to be adventurous. Like I need to like look forward to something that makes it all count. Like what am I doing that's like taking my adrenaline to another level, that makes me excited, that like it makes me laugh, makes me actually live this life, not survive this life.
Oh, agreed. Yep.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Um, and then the third would be health as well, because you're so right. Like, bro, remember like a couple months ago when I was really ill, and that was even flu, like that wasn't even serious, and I was like, this is terrible. So
Yeah,
being having your health on my days, it's so important. Like being
it's
able,
everything.
like it's everything. Like being able to go outside and walk and breathe, like that's such a privilege. Like we people don't realize how much of a privilege that is, something that we're
Mhm.
just doing automatically. Oh yeah, that's definitely up
It's
there.
like, do you know when you get sick, yeah? this is not comparable to illness that people are obviously suffering right now. But when you get sick and you can't breathe through your nose, and you're like, holy shit, I took that for granted. Like,
Yeah,
breathing through your nose is one of the most amazing things ever because
it is.
when you're in meetings and you're like, yeah. Like, it's so embarrassing.
It is. No, you're so right. You're so right. Like, oh my
God.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But let's see what the people said. I think, to be fair, I think people are all gonna say very similar things that I feel like even though we're different, we're all the same at the same time.
Yeah.
So the first one, someone said laughter, family, and well-seasoned food. I was not expecting the well-seasoned food. Good for you, girl.
Do you
Yeah,
know
I like
what? That's
they did say
actually
health.
they did not say health. Well-seasoned food. Well-seasoned
Health.
healthy food. But it's such a good point, about the food thing, yeah? Because I think about food all the time. Like,
Mm.
I have my breakfast and then I'm thinking about, right, so what am I gonna have for lunch? Right, I've got like 5 hours till I can have lunch, but let me try and stretch it so I'm like not too, do you know what I mean? Like
That's
I'm
me.
no, for real. I'm always thinking about food. Like always I'm like, and what am I gonna have for dessert? And then what little snack will I have? But I've met people that are like, forget to eat. And like
Mm.
they literally like food is not a priority. So I appreciate this person put this here because food is really a priority in my like obviously everyone eats, but like, but do you love food? Like, do you eat or do you eat?
Yeah, some people eat just for fuel because that's what
Yeah.
food is. Like, who made food enjoyment? Who did that? Because actually, you're jarring because my body would not be looking like this if food was fuel. Like, but when does food become enjoyment?
But exactly because food is so much more than food because you literally like it's a social gathering, it's
Mm-hmm.
something to do together, it's a task. It can be like good for your mental, like people that enjoy cooking or like enjoy baking, enjoy creating it, they can get creative with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like so yes, yes, well-seasoned food.
Yeah, food is actually bonding time. Boy.
Exactly. It really is. Um, Someone said the three pillars are level of happiness, health, and relationships.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty common.
Yeah,
I like that. I
that
agree
fits
with
into the
those.
three pillars nicely.
Mm-hmm. Another one. We won't read them all out, but we'll read out a couple. Someone said family slash friends. Ooh, why? Why? Someone said work and then fitness. Yeah, people. I've asked this. Like, I've had this question asked to me like ages ago, and people have said it. I've never ever heard anyone say work.
No, but I guess, well, this person must love what they do. But not hating. But I guess it's like if you're really that passionate about your job, then it's like, yeah, work is a part of it. Like if you're mission driven, or maybe like your work is your talent, like if you're like a creative or something, then it makes sense that like you're fueled by your work, which is amazing. Love
That is a
it.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Like, good for you. It does actually remind me of when you're in school, and like when I was little, I used to be like, all right, life's on track. If I'm going to the gym, I'm doing my schoolwork on time, and I've got nice relationships. So actually, it's fairly similar. It's
Yeah,
just like that same structure.
that's true. Um, so someone said, one, passion. So, am I passionate about what I'm doing? Two, wellness. How do I feel? And three, communication. Am I communicating well with friends, family, or at work? That's deep.
I feel like that's my favorite.
Yeah, that's really good.
The passion is so nice. Like, that's such a good point. Because passion, like, if you're passionate about something, then that's going to lead to like happiness, fulfillment. Like, there's so much that comes out about being passionate and like having a purpose.
Yeah, it's so true. And
I love
even
that.
like
And communication is key. Sorry,
co
go on.
no, communication is so key though, because it's like, do you have the emotional maturity to be able to communicate how you're feeling? And like, if you don't like something, to say no, because then that adds to your overall enjoyment of life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Love that one. Thanks, whoever sent that in.
Yeah.
Right, should we do one more?
Yes.
Someone said being grateful, staying healthy, and making memories.
Do you know what? Gratitude is so important. And I try to practice this because it's like we were just saying, like you can't just be grateful when like the big things are happening, but it's
Mm,
like it's the everyday like my heart is working as it should be working because that can change at any point. Like don't get comfortable in this
yeah.
lifestyle. Like anything can change at any moment. Like wow, like I actually this is why I'm so heavy on when I meet up with friends and them telling me that they got home safe because
Mm.
things can change in a split second and you have to have gratitude from getting from point A to point B safely.
I'm not gonna lie, I am shit at being grateful. Like, I will hold my hands up. I'm absolutely shit. When something goes wrong, yeah. Like, for example, if I get a cold or God forbid, there's some really bad news, I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful. Like, I could be in that position. Like, oh my God, my life is so great. But I only do that when something bad happens. Like, it's rare
Mm,
that I'll literally just sit there on a random day, unless, like you say, something amazing has happened, and be like, oh, I'm so grateful for today. Like, another day, which is
yeah.
terrible. Like, that's really bad.
No, but yeah, you should be because it's another day that you made it through and you're okay. Like, mm,
Yeah. I saw something on Instagram and it was like, um, basically being like, for fuck's sake, I can't believe I prayed for this job. I'm super pissed off now. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, God damn, if 5 year ago me saw me today, I'm everything 5 year ago me wanted to be on paper. Like everything,
right.
everything. But now I want more.
But exactly like I had this realization as well that like I used to pray for this and
Mhm.
like I'm here and now I'm praying for other things. And yes, you should keep on going. Like that's the whole part of growing up. Like you're not at
Mm,
a standstill. But you do have to remember, like, I used to pray to just have a job. Like you have a job now. Like don't forget to be grateful for that. Even if it's a difficult job, at least you got something that you asked for.
yeah, without a doubt. I'm gonna, oh, let me not. I keep pivoting, but someone played me meditation music yesterday, yeah. And like for 2 seconds, I closed my eyes and I was like, shit. I was like, I actually feel like I could meditate and like do that practicing gratitude stuff.
Do you know I can so see you meditating? I don't know why, like I fully can. I like, yeah, I so see that for you. Do you know, I'm like, I don't really love like sitting still. There's other ways that I meditate.
Mm,
Well, I wouldn't say it's meditation, but there's other ways that I practice mindfulness. I don't think meditation is for me. Maybe I need to try different ways of doing it. But no, yeah, it's from this episode, guys. Practice gratitude.
yes. Yeah. I might try that. No, not this week. I need to revise. I'll try. My new personality trait is after I've finished my exam or after I've finished revising, I'm going to. The list is growing.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, tea and cakey. Let's finish off with our Glassdoor review.
Never heard that.
I'm going mad. Um, Life's really taking its toll at the moment. Life is laughing. Okie dokie.
But
Okay.
you're grateful that you have the opportunity to do the exam.
I'm becoming more knowledgeable, more important, more clever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And going mad at the same time. Okay, cool. So this person was a store manager. They said, pros. The team you well, oh, this is so damn true. The team you work with makes it fun and motivating. Team is actually everything at work. No one can tell
Mm.
me otherwise. Without the staff holding it together, it's a fight to want to be there. Then cons, they said, expectations are perfection on a dollar budget. Don't be too good at what you do. They'll only expect more for no reward. Expectation on a dollar budget. You can't afford me.
You can't afford me.
No, that's such a good point. Like some people have high expectations, but they aren't willing to pay for it or they aren't willing to give back. Oh
It's
shit, that
true.
sounds like me. Billy's been obviously I'm advising, so I can't be like doing too much at the moment. Obviously, Billy's giving, and he's like, "You expect, so you don't give back." And I was like, "Shit, you ain't lying. He ain't lying." But knew me in 6 weeks, I might be different.
Tell him to practice gratitude.
You can't fool me. No, I'm just wait. I'm going on a tangent. I'm losing my mind today, guys. Let me wrap up this episode. Advice to management. Management operates. Kill me now. Management operates on a write up and discipline versus coach, train, and develop module. They will push you out for any reason, and HR is biased. The company is politics based, not performance based. Managers are encouraged to document everything. Managers are encouraged to document everything. People are disposable, just like their product.
Oh,
this person's coming out with a tagline.
And they came with shade as well.
Yeah, people are everything. I'm telling you, people hire personality.
I completely agree. I completely agree. Like, but that is important because some people are hard to work with, not because they're not intelligent, but just because they don't have the like social cues, or I don't know if that's it, but it's just like they're just not easy people to work with, and that's so important.
Yeah. Without a doubt. So practice gratitude this week, guys. Take it easy. Have a lovely week. Stay positive. All of that. If you want to send us in any of your dramas, your mistakes, please do to grownutsthepodcast@gmail.com or
DM us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Can you DM people on YouTube? I don't even know. Comment on
you
YouTube.
can comment.
Do whatever you want at Grown Ups the Podcast.
We're available on Spotify and Apple Music, guys. See you next week.
Bye.